All right, let's satisfy all the comments from my last two videos. Just use VR. Have you heard of VR? Screens are dumb. VR exists. Yes, I know. I own VR. A few, actually. And I've owned more than I currently have. Right now, I have the Oculus Rift S, the Quest 3, and the Bigscreen Beyond 2, which is the star of this video. Today I'm breaking down what I like, what I don't like, why I picked the Bigscreen Beyond over the Pimax Crystal Super 50 ppd, which I had to return, and why I even still have screens in the first place. So let's get into it. Let's get this thing out of the box. I've been using it for a few weeks, so everything isn't perfectly packed back in. But when this showed up, I was not expecting packaging like this. The presentation is incredible. From opening the lid to having it on your desk, it just feels premium. I usually toss boxes. I'm not storing a warehouse of packaging, but this one I'm keeping. It's just that nice. Let's talk about the setup. It's pretty straightforward. Bigscreen sent an email with my shipping notification. The link takes you to a very clean step-by-step guide. You will need at least one lighthouse for tracking. I own two, but sometimes only run one. The cable only goes in the headset one way. Do not force it. They color code everything, and it's very clear. Headset plugs into the link box. The link box plugs into the PC. You'll need two USB 3.0 ports and one display port. Make sure the USB ports are actually USB 3.0. I learned that the hard way. Next is IPD adjustment. Using the included Allen key, you turn your IPD until the little numbers match up with your IPD. If you don't know your IPD, you can figure it out by downloading a few different apps that will measure it based off of like the size of a credit card, depending on the app. There's also a small rubber clip that routes the cable along the head strap so it doesn't pull awkwardly. I also have the audio strap, but we will talk about that in a little bit. So let's talk about the software, the displays, and some hidden settings. You'll need Steam VR. I'm not going to walk you through that. What I do want to talk about, though, is the Bigscreen Beyond utility. It's basically a Steam VR add-on where you can adjust your headset settings. I run mine at 75 Hertz for better performance. Brightness, I run that all the way to overdrive, and that's because these panels are pretty dim. Make sure you update your firmware if it prompts you to. Mine needed one, and don't forget to save your settings. The displays and the hidden settings to fix a few problems. Out of the box, mine were super dim and aggressively yellow. Like this room has been smoked in for 50 years yellow. At first, I was correcting it inside of OpenXR Toolkit in every game, and it was really annoying. So I reached out to Bigscreen, and they told me the fix was in their utility. And I told them I couldn't find it. And turns out it's just hidden. If you click on the version number at the bottom of the utility, it unlocks a hidden menu, and you'll find the color adjustments in there. Why is it hidden? I have no clue. But once you find it and get dialed in, it's a massive difference. As for brightness, maxing the slider out puts it into an acceptable category of brightness for me. I would personally still like to see brighter panels. Darker scenes are still darker than other headsets I've used, even with OLED panels. The sweet spot in the optics is a little small, but it's definitely usable. It becomes more noticeable if you start doing custom setups or running without the facial interface. Next, let's get into the comfort of this headset. This is why most people buy this headset. The custom face gasket is insane. When I first snapped it in and held it up to my face, I could not believe how well it sealed. Zero light leak, complete darkness. I kid you not. And it keeps your eyes perfectly aligned with that sweet spot, which is important because it's not the biggest. But After about 10 minutes, it gets really hot and really sticky. It is a silicone type material and it just sticks to you. And there are aftermarket options like Studio Form, which I do have, and it's good. It's not perfect, but it fixes most of my complaints with that. And that brings me to the Halo mount. As of filming this, it's not available yet, and I really want it, not gonna lie. I actually prefer using my headsets without a facial interface at all. And it solves a lot of my heat issues. So I built my own DIY Halo mount. I designed it in CAD, 3D printed it. It robbed some parts from some other stuff, but it works. It's not perfect, but once the official one releases, I'll definitely be buying it, and I'd suggest everyone else to do the same. My DIY Halo setup does not work well with the soft strap. It just kind of flops around with the added cantilevering weight. The audio strap fixes that though, but I have a love-hate relationship with it. The rear portion sits a little high on my head because there's no angle adjustment. And the speakers, if I'm being honest, they might as well not exist. The audio has no depth. The fitment feels really awkward. They sit on your ears weird. They're floppy and annoying. I usually just flip them up out of the way and use my own speakers, whether that's the speakers from my TV directly or my left and right surround speakers. If I could suggest one thing to Bigscreen, is offer this strap without the audio, or even better, give us a 3.5 millimeter jack option. Then we can plug in whatever headphones we want. Now, the main reason I bought this headset is for its tracking capabilities. The tracking is excellent. With 2 lighthouses, it's low latency, and it's very precise. If I only use one, it occasionally does some funny things, but that's on me for being lazy. I have experienced some weird gray screen issues, maybe half a second at a time, sometimes once, sometimes a few times in a row. Now, I do need to mention that because as of right now, I can't reliably use this headset with my motion system. When the motion is active, I get interference issues and those gray flashes become much more frequent, almost constant. I've done a lot of troubleshooting, separating power circuits, moving the PC, isolating the USB to a PCIe card, and the only consistent fix is turning off the motion. So for now, I have to use this headset static, and I can't use my motion. To be clear, I don't think this is necessarily a Bigscreen issue. It could be a lighthouse interference combined with the motion electronics, but in my current setup, they don't play nicely together, and it's something I'm actively working on fixing. And if I find a true fix for it, I will probably make a video just on that. Racing is where this headset really shines. Because it's so light, I can race for long sessions without fatigue. The field of view is tighter than some other headsets. I do find myself turning my head instead of just moving my eyes. But for racing, that's fine. I'd rather have a tighter field of view and higher pixel density than a wide field of view with wide field of view compromises. For flying, I actually prefer my triple screens. The tighter field of view makes sightseeing less immersive because you're constantly looking around. And here's where the Pimax Crystal Super 50 PPD comes back into the conversation. I bought it specifically because the specs were incredible. Flying in that headset was insane. The field of view was on another level. But the tracking, it just didn't work. In a low latency sim environment, we're talking a sim pit where milliseconds matter. The tracking wasn't there. It made the whole experience feel off, borderline unusable for what I needed. So I sent it back. Now, to be fair, to Pimax, this might be something that could have been fixed later down the road in software. The hardware was great, but I wasn't willing to wait on a maybe. So I came back to the Beyond 2. For dogfighting or DCS, the Beyond is great, but for general aviation, sightseeing, and, you know, anything Microsoft Flight Sim. I just prefer my screens. So for the just use VR guys in the comments, VR is incredible. I genuinely love it. I consider myself a VR enthusiast. But here's the honest truth. I can race for maybe an hour in VR. When I start to fly, I might be flying for 4 hours, sometimes more. And 4 hours in a headset is a completely different experience than 1 hour. The heat builds up, the weight on your face adds up, eye strain sets in. By hour 3, you're taking it off every 20 minutes just to let your face take a break. It stops being immersive and starts being a workout you didn't sign up for. So here's how I actually use my rig. VR for racing, screens for flying, most of the time. The Beyond 2 is my go-to for when I race. I don't normally race on screens. The triple screens are where I go for a long flight session when I want to be comfortable and just enjoy my time. The screens aren't there because I don't believe in VR. They're there because nothing beats them for a 4-hour flying session where comfort actually matters. So, what's my overall opinion? I really like the Bigscreen Beyond 2. Could it be brighter? Yeah. Could it have a bigger sweet spot? Sure. But every improvement comes with a trade-off. Bigger lenses means more weight. Brighter panels means different optical compromises. If you want a lightweight, hardwired, low latency headset for serious sim racing or competitive flying, I would absolutely recommend it. Right now, this is probably the cleanest lighthouse-based sim headset available. Now, that being said, the Pimax Dream Air could seriously shake that up. If Pimax delivers a high-resolution, lightweight design with a similar field of view and solid lighthouse tracking, that could potentially dethrone the Beyond 2 in the VR lighthouse tracking category, at least. It's a big if. Pimax has had incredible hardware ideas with mixed execution. But if they get it right, it could be very interesting. For now, though, this is my go-to VR headset unless I'm doing social VR. Then it's still the Quest 3. For casual users, a Quest 3 is enough. For a dedicated sim pit, the Beyond makes a lot of sense. That's everything I got for you guys today on the Bigscreen Beyond 2. If you've been sitting in the comments of my last couple of videos telling me just to use VR, I hope this settles that. And if you've got questions about anything I did not cover, drop them down below. I do my best to read everything. If this was useful, please hit the like button. It helps way more than most people realize. And if you want to follow and see where this whole rig is going, subscribe. I've got more coming. I'm never satisfied. Thanks for watching. See you guys in the next one.